Hi, I'm Zach, Mighty Morphin Black Ranger from Siobhan's Power Rangers movie, and I'm making my movie today. Now, as you know, there's a lot of shifts that happened in this room. Anyway, that's not the point of this movie. This movie is talking about Thanksgiving Day in the United States and the sagas and tales behind how it came. Now, as far as anyone can trace it back to, goes back to 1620 YL, when a team of European Englanders, because that's who they were, left England and moved to North America, or at least Northwestland, since America was a European italic Latin borrowed learned word. And even before that, a lot of them died. Some died from starvation, some died from dehydration, others died from illnesses. So it wasn't good. And back then, sailing ships meant that you would be on the sea for days, weeks, maybe even months, maybe years. And eventually, they would eventually get there. But it was winter by the time they got there, and none of them were prepared for that. I mean, yes, they did know there was winter back in Europe, back in England, where they come from, but they weren't prepared, you know, to deal with it when they finally got to North America. Now, this would start the beginning of the United Colonies that would eventually become the United States. So keep that in mind. Now, the inborn men and women, the inborn folk, the inborn lead who lived there had always had contact with Caucasians. It wasn't the first time they've ever had contact with men and women from another land that looked unlike them and did not speak like them. I mean, if you go back far enough, Leif Erikson, a European Icelander who had actually colonized Greenland. And if you go even after him, you could go to Christopher Columbus, who had come to North America by mistake, was really trying to find a quicker route around Asia and Europe and made a mistake and came to North America. And there was John Smith and his team. And they weren't there that long, you know. So they did have, and we all know about John Smith and his saga and tale when it comes to Pocahontas. Now, these inborn may have not been. They may have been the kinfolk of their kin elders who had met these men and women before. Some of them who were curious, befriended them, teach them how to hunt, taught them how to raise their own fruit and plant their own vegetables and plant their own fruit. And there was a lot of back and forth, each one learning the other one's speech, each one taking borrowed learned word from the other. And one day, as the saga and tale goes, no one really knows. The only name that anyone remembers was Squanto, and whoever was the head of the team at the time had a talk about having a meal to give thanks to God for everything that had gone good with their life. Being thankful for outliving the illnesses, outliving the winter, meeting new friends, and, learning new skills that would help them outlive in this new land. Now, everyone says that the first Thanksgiving was just one day. Now, it may have been days. And it wasn't on Thursday. No, that came later. Thanksgiving Day in the United States was done on sundriest days in November up until sometime in the 1800 LYL. Then a law was finally made that made it where it would be done on Thursday after that. Now, my belief was they thought that it would be convenient for everyone if they did it on Thursday. Now, I don't know how convenient it is. They thought that if they did it on Thursday, then everyone will know what day it would be on. They could get ready for it. They could make goals for it, I guess. Now, many other lands do Thanksgiving. Canada does it, and they do theirs on the first Monday in October. And Libya, a land in Africa that had gotten its own from the United States, does it in October too. Now, Japan even does Thanksgiving too, but they call theirs Labor Day Thanksgiving Day, and they do it the same day that the United States does theirs. Now, you should always be thankful for what you want, for what you have, all year round, every day, every month, every year, not just on Thanksgiving Day, you know. And I know that many men and women out there, Thanksgiving, that's what it's about. Now, a lot of men and women out there are going to seek wrong with Thanksgiving and say, well, say that talking about how our kin elders did some, wrong things to the inborn landers, They're going to talk about, well, they were thankful for everything they did, and then they took their land from them and stuff. Yeah, a lot of sad things were done. I will admit that some of our kin elders did some sad things, okay? A lot of men and women did some really evil, wrong, bad, wicked, sinful things, to them, okay? But a lot of time has gone by, and everyone is forgiven and I'm sure that everybody is still sad for that. But you can't keep bringing that up every day. You can't say, well, it's an evil thing and it's sad that it happened, right? All right. But you know what? You can't use that and say, well, Thanksgiving's evil since our kin elders did some, wrong things to somebody inborn. All right. Yeah. I know they're going to go in there and talk about, they took their land from them and they put them on reserve land given to them, and they did this and that. Yeah, our kin elders did some pretty shitty things. Yeah. Pretty mean things to those men and women out there, okay? But, a lot of time has gone by, and everyone has, forgiven each other for wrongs that each side had done to each side, and we learn to move on, okay? We can't go back. You can't shift the past. The past is the past. All you can do is just learn from the past and try and to seek to do good, all right? But the idea, the thought, the belief of Thanksgiving, giving thanks for everything that you have, being thankful for everything you have, is a good thing. All right? So remember, when you're having Thanksgiving main meal with your kin, whoever they may be, is that be thankful for everything you have. You should always be thankful for what you have, and try to seek to remember that this holiday is giving thanks for everything you have, And you should be thankful all year round, not just on Thanksgiving Day, but all year round. And that is what it is. Now, some men and women out there might say, how do we know that Thanksgiving Day was actually, how do we know? Well, books for, I guess, the European Englanders, I guess they must have been keeping sagas and tales and books, I guess. And that's how they know what happened. That's my guess. I'm Zach. the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. Hope you like this movie.